Welcome to the Adonis podcast. So, to start things off, I want to talk about a micro-influencer I used to follow. His name was Jeff Mack. I'm going to tell you who he is, what he was about, and why I ultimately decided that it was time for me to unfollow him and go my separate ways. So Jeff Mack has a pretty popularity status on TikTok. He's kind of gives you the vibe of like that random TikToker that you don't know who he is, but he keeps showing up on your For You page. So he talked a lot about self-improvement and what it takes to be a man, and he talked a lot about conservatism and Trump, and I really liked what he had to say, so I decided to give him a follow. When I first started following him, I liked it a lot. The one thing that he said that I didn't agree with was looks maxing, so apparently he does looks maxing, like clavicular, where he like clenches his jaw and does these things to enhance a strong jawline or whatnot. I have never been a fan of look maxing. I think it's a very feminine thing to do for a man to looks max. That's what women do. Women looks max by putting on makeup, by doing their hair, by getting their nails done. That is something for women to do. Men, we don't look max. We present ourselves well by having confidence, by grooming ourselves, by working out, by doing manly things. We don't spend time clenching our jaw in the mirror so that we can have a more pristine jawline. You want a strong jawline, do what I do. Grow out a fucking goatee. So I didn't agree with that, but whatever. And for the record, it's always the looks maxers who are actually extremely unattractive. Now, before I really had a feel for who Jeff Mack was before, when he was just some guy who kept showing up on my feed for some reason, I kept noticing his face. And I kept saying to myself, I'm like, bro, this guy's fucking ugly, dude. And then he's over here talking about like, oh, I look good because I looks max. No, you don't look good. You've got a giant fucking pimple on your cheek. You don't look good, bro. You actually look weird. It looks like you got plastic surgery the improper way. I've noticed this goes for clavicular. This goes for literally anyone who does looks maxing. They literally look like they themselves did plastic surgery on their own face. There is something about it that looks extremely unnatural and wrong and displeasant. So, and it also shows that you have very low self-confidence, okay? Women know this better than anyone. Women have very low self-confidence, generally speaking, which is why they put on makeup and they do their hair and they get their nails done. How many times have you taken your girl out on a date and she takes hours to get ready because, I need to look good, or you're going to the store or something. Hey, babe, we're just going to Walmart. Okay, let me get ready. What do you mean get ready? Just throw on a hoodie and let's go. I'm going in my fucking sweatpants. Why are you doing your whole routine just to go pick up some berries at Walmart? Because women have low self-confidence. To make themselves feel good, they have to do their hair, they have to do their nails, they have to present well, they're so insecure that they use filters on Instagram and Snapchat on top of all the makeup and products that they put on their face and body. Men naturally are more confident than women. Us men, we will throw on sweatpants and a hoodie and go to Walmart to looking like a bum because, hey, I was just sitting around playing video games on my pajamas. I got hungry, needed some snack. I'm only going to be in the store for 5 minutes. Why the fuck do I need to go put on a suit and tie on for? We're naturally confident like that. So for a man to looks max, I need to clench my jaw in the mirror and start looks maxing. I need to go pay clavicular some money to take his course on how to looks max so that women will like me, so that people will like me. It is an extremely, extremely feminine thing to do. So I don't agree with that at all. But regardless, Jeff Mack said a lot of stuff that I agreed with. And then later down the line, he completely turned on Trump because of the whole thing going on right now between the U.S. and Israel. He kept pointing out that the Jews control everything, which I don't agree with him turning on Trump. I do understand where he's coming from, though. And I still agree with a lot of the stuff that he was saying. However, a lot of people are so quick to blame Trump whenever there's a problem in our country. I don't think you understand that the President of the United States doesn't really have all that power. He has to go through Congress. I mean, how many times Trump talked about this himself where he has tried to pass laws or acts and he can't because he has to go through this whole process of passing it by so many fucking people. He basically has to get the whole country. Like, he's not a king, bro. A king can just say, I want this done, snap his fingers, and it's done like that. Trump basically has to get the entire country, both sides, to agree with him 100% of the way. And if not, like, it doesn't get passed. So yes, it's important for us to have a president. However, presidents really don't have that much power. So everything that happens in our country is not necessarily the president's fault. I would argue that it is the fault of our corrupt system and our government, which is exactly why I voted for Trump, because Trump is actively going against that. That being said, there is 100% some corruption going on with Israel and whatnot. Now, I'm not going to spend time complaining endlessly about the Jews or about Israel, because like I said before, Israel is on the other side of the world. I really don't care what they're doing. Oh, the Jews control everything. Okay, and I can't really do anything about it. I'm still going to get up and go to work and work out and do things. Listen, not a single Jew has stolen my paycheck. Not a single Jew has forced me to stay in bed all day and not get active. Not a single Jew has stopped me from hitting record and streaming this podcast. It has no effect on me. And oh, well, the Jews are the reason why the economy is so bad. Okay, the government are the ones who decided to bend over backwards and kiss Israel's ass. And the government has been screwing us over since the dawn of time. So it is ultimately the government's fault that we live in an economy that is so bad, that housing is unaffordable, that rent is unaffordable. How are we going to fix this? Well, not one person can fix this on our own. What needs to happen is exactly what happened, what seized America from the Great Brits, is we need to have another revolutionary war. But is that going to happen? I think eventually, yeah, because people are getting sick of being pushed around and dog-fucked. However, right now everyone's distracted by pornography and video games and clubbing and drugs and alcohol. A lot of these substances and addictions we didn't have back then. So, a revolutionary war is indefinitely going to happen, but the question of when, well, it's going to continue to get delayed the more people decide to be addicted to their screens and entertainment instead of, waking up and living in the real world. I still follow Jeff Mack, but as he got more and more extreme from his views, I noticed he was kind of leaning away from conservatism. He was starting to say more and more things that I did not agree with. And then most recently, he broke up with his girl, Deja. This is the other thing I want to point out. He actively talks out against women, and he basically says the exact same thing that I do, where a lot of modern-day women are whores, and they're hypocritical, and they have, like, this double standard, and they're just arrogant pricks. One of the things that he spoke about, which is something that I have spoken about as well, is that if your woman is truly your woman, she should not be seeking validation from other men. This includes having an Instagram timeline where it's only bikini pictures, or if she's talking to other men in her DMs, or if you go out with her and she's wearing what Erica Kirk wore. I just saw a picture of this, of Erica Kirk in a fucking laced crop top and tight, form-fitting black jeans. Black leather jeans. So I agreed with that. However, in November of 2025, this was just last year, Jeff Mack and Deja went to EDC Orlando together, where they took videos and they uploaded videos to their channels. And Deja, I noticed, was regularly dressed promiscuously. She was basically wearing a bra, a thong, and fishnets, which is the standard dress code for girls that go to EDC. And that's fine. Listen, we live in a free country. If you want to dress like a whore, you can dress like a whore. I personally don't go to raves anymore because people are rude despite they hypocritically claim that they're plur, which stands for peace, love, unity, and respect. In my experience, every single girl who has claimed that she's for plur has been the complete opposite of that. And people say, oh, it's better than a nightclub, there's more room to move around. Yeah, there's more room to move around. However, the difference between raves and nightclubs is people go to nightclubs to drink. People go to raves to do drugs. EDC is way too overpriced. Most of these raves are way too overpriced. Everyone's a fucking whore. What's up?
Rocket's got orange.
I don't know what he said. I'm in the middle of a stream.
You're on stream?
Yeah. But the guys dress like whores too. When I walk into a club, it's very, very rare that I walk in and I see a guy wearing fucking nipple pads or fishnets or like overalls with no shirt on. But you go to a place like EDC and that's on the regular. And I remember going to EDC years ago and walking around and I was like, bro, I'm not enjoying this. It's like the music is enjoyable, the light show is enjoyable, the lasers are enjoyable. I'm not enjoying walking around seeing a bunch of half-naked men in fucking fishnets. Most of the rape culture are woke. And this is another thing, is the same girls who claim that they're plur, who claim that they respect everyone, they'll attack you for being conservative, because that happened to me. So, I fucking quit going to raves. Wonky Town, shout out Wonky Town in Tallahassee. Every single time I've been there, they've been a fucking dick to me. For no fucking reason. I stopped going to Wonky Town, and I've heard that they've been getting less and less popular. They've even had issues with TPD. But my friend was telling me the other day, I asked my friend, I was like, so how is Wonky Town? And he was like, oh, dude, it's dead. He basically said no one fucking goes to Wonky Town anymore. Huh. I wonder why. The point that I was getting at is, Jeff Mack is very hypocritical in saying that, oh, no woman should dress like this, and then his girlfriend is dressed exactly like that. Here's the day when I unfollowed him. So apparently Jeff and Deja broke up, and Jeff had like a little kitty bracelet with Deja's name on it. And he recorded himself ripping it off and flushing it down his toilet. Because they broke up. And as I saw this, I said to myself, what in the childish bullshit is this? You're a full-grown man flushing shit down the toilet because some girl broke your heart. What the fuck is wrong with you? So I hit the unfollow button, but before I hit the unfollow button, I saw his next story, and he said to the camera, hey, no disrespect to Deja. So let me get this straight. You have a bracelet that says Deja on it. You rip it off, flush it down the toilet on camera for the entire world, including her, to see. Straight disrespect to her face. Oh, by the way, no disrespect. That would be like if I intentionally hit someone with my car and then said, oh, no disrespect to you, sir. Or hey, if I walked up to you and I go, hey, man, fuck you. And I spit on you. No disrespect, though. Like, what the fuck? So at this point, I'm like, okay, this guy's a little bitch. I'm not dealing with this shit. So I unfollowed him. Now I'm in the era now where he regularly starts popping up on my feed again. And recently he posted a video on TikTok where he explained what happened between him and Deja. So apparently they got into an argument, and he mentioned that he's had like anger issues and a drug problem in the past, but he overcame that through the power of God. Anyway, I don't know why that was fucking important to the video, but fast forward to today, they got into an argument, and she dumped him because in the argument, he reached out and he pulled a strand of her hair. What the fuck? I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? And he announced this as like a formal apology, and he was like, I was really certain that this woman was going to be the one. I thought she was going to be my wife and the future mother of my kids. I really liked her. And because I couldn't control my anger. Okay, everyone knows I have, well, a lot of people like to call it anger issues. I don't really call them issues because I have it well under control. But everyone knows that I'm fucking angry, like all the fucking time. I have never fucking assaulted somebody. I have never fucking hit somebody out of anger. I have never done regrettable things out of anger. The most that I've done out of anger is fucking yell at the wrong person or just snap at someone who did nothing wrong because it was in the heat of the moment and then regret it afterwards. But this guy straight up pulled a woman's hair mid-argument. So she left him. rightfully fucking so. He makes his apology saying, I'm sorry to Deja and, I'm sorry to everyone else. This isn't like me. I want to move on past this. He should not be on TikTok making videos about how he pulls his girlfriend's hair. He should be in fucking jail. So, yeah, Jeff Mack is a little bitch. He should be in fucking jail. He should never be allowed to touch another woman again. That right there is straight up assault. Like, what is wrong with you? At that point, if you're having an argument with your bitch about something and you decide to fucking pull on her hair, that is no longer, oh, I have anger issues. No, you have psychological issues and you belong in a fucking mental hospital. So if Jeff Mack is watching, Jeff Mack, fuck you. You are an imbecile and a woman abuser and a piece of fucking shit. And you should be thanking Deja for not pressing charges on you, because we all know that you should be rotting in a jail cell right now as we speak. So yeah, I lost so much respect for that guy. I unfollowed him before I even knew why they had the breakup, but I mean, he's very hypocritical. He whines like a little bitch. He's very feminine while claiming to be masculine. And he's quite literally now a woman abuser. Moving on to other subjects, Ron DeSantis just signed some new laws into effect, one of which amplifies the death penalty for child rapists. So anyone who abuses a child, especially in a sexual manner, they will be sent to their death. I agree with this. I'd say most people in the right headspace, especially people who have kids, who have families, would agree with this. But the internet is losing their mind and they're saying this isn't right, this is unconstitutional. Why do we need to take their lives? Why do we need to take their lives? I'll tell you why. Because dead pedophiles don't re-offend. This is the difference. I saw a clip on TikTok the other day of Daredevil versus the Punisher. And the Punisher was basically making fun of Daredevil because, he was like, New York is basically like your playground. You go out, you fight these bad guys, you lock them up. Weeks later, they break out and they're back on the streets killing people again. And then Daredevil's like, oh, and your solution is to put them in the fucking morgue. And Frank says, yeah, you're damn right I do. And I agree with Frank. Another example of this is Arrow versus the Flash during the whole CW era. Arrow used to kill people, and then he stopped killing people, but he was still brutal. Green Arrow was basically the Batman of the Arrowverse. And Flash didn't agree with that. And they basically had the same argument where Green Arrow was like, listen, my bad guys are afraid to leave prison because I beat them so badly, or I kill when necessary. While the Flash's villains, they regularly break out because the Flash has turned it all into one giant comedy simulation. So DeSantis made a few valid points on the news. He stated that no other state has gone to the extreme that Florida has to make sure that pedophiles are punished to the fullest extent to the law, so that pedophiles are scared to re-offend or to offend in the first place, so that we actually cure this pedophilia disease. The fact that people from other states, and even within our own state, are questioning it, are fighting it, I'm just like, so what's up? Like, are you in support of it then? Like, genuinely give me one good excuse why we shouldn't shoot a man who has been caught raping a little girl or a little boy. Give me one valid excuse why we shouldn't kill them. Matter of fact, I'd even take it a step forward. We should torture their asses first, make them wish they were dead, and then kill them. You ever seen those Terrifier movies or The Boys where they fucking reach in through someone's throat, rip out their intestines, or shove something sharp like a fucking sword or a metal rod or a chainsaw up someone's ass, slice them down the middle, and basically torture them while they're still alive? We should be getting that treatment to pedophiles and then kill them. We should make them suffer. We should make them feel the pain that they've caused others. But no, these fucking Democrats and liberals want to go, oh, but pedophilia is natural. Pedophilia is not a disease. Bro, there was a fucking guy who literally said to Charlie Kirk in one of his interviews that just because someone's a pedophile does not mean that they're doing something wrong. Huh? So praise to Ron DeSantis for that. I'm happy to be living in a state that actually takes this matter seriously. Because I see things about pedophilia all the fucking time on the internet. You know, I feel like that wasn't always a thing. I remember being on the internet, because let's face it, we've all been on the internet basically our entire lives. There was a time where you could browse the internet without randomly seeing things about, oh, this pedophile got arrested, this. Like, yeah, it happened. But it was nowhere near as intense as it is today. And I think that's because law enforcement and the system and these fucking judges, they are seriously falling behind on their shit, or they just don't care, or they're actually in favor of it. Look what happened on Epstein's Island. Speaking of which, Ron DeSantis is on the Epstein files. I have no idea why. Hopefully, it's not for anything bad. Hopefully, he was like Michael Jackson or Trump, where he was actually trying to protect people, or he genuinely didn't know what he was getting into. I have no idea why DeSantis' name is on the files, but he is in the files, just throwing that out there. And then finally, Clavicular, again, I feel like I'm going to be making quite a few episodes about him. So, obviously, he's trending again, and people are talking about him left and right. Every single time I see Clavicular do anything, all I can think of is, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And I get that, like, Tate supports him and whatnot. I'm genuinely convinced that Tate and Myron only talk to him about how women are whores, and that's it, and they don't actually watch his content. Because he's fucking punching himself in the face, fucking shooting at dead alligators, literally sexually assaulting women. You ever want? I don't know if any of you follow lawyers on social media. I follow a few. There's Adam Ashby is one. Dr. Judge is another. But something that they say is you have to watch what you post online, because it can be used against you in a court of law. You're basically incriminating yourself by posting everything online. Well, Clavicular is quite literally the example of that, because he literally goes on stream every day and commits so many crimes, from sexual assault to shooting an alligator to fucking instigating fights to taking drugs to underage drinking to possessing false identification. Every single crime that I have just listed, including and even more, he has either recorded himself doing it on a live stream for the sake of getting views, or he has directly admitted to it, whether he was talking to a girl or he was on a podcast or whatever. And I look at this and I remember what Adam Ashby and other lawyers have said online, that, like, you know, posting this kind of content can land you in jail. Clavicular is one of the most famous people in the country right now. Why is he not in jail? Like, he goes to jail for one thing and then gets out the next day. He should be in prison for life at this point, with all the crimes he's been committing non-stop every single day. Well, this relates to exactly what I said earlier, which is that people just don't care anymore. The judges don't care, the police don't care. They're arresting the wrong people. They're focused on the wrong thing. Because if law enforcement actually did their job, if the system actually worked, Clavicular would have been in jail a long time ago. And it seems that no matter how many times he does get arrested, he doesn't fucking learn his lesson. And this is another example of someone who's very feminine. Like, he tries to frame himself as someone who's very confident and whatnot. Okay, so why do you do this look smashing thing? Why do you change your physical appearance with this bone smashing and fucking lip injections and whatnot and wearing makeup and all this feminine bullshit, bro? Because you're not confident. If you were confident, you wouldn't be doing all that shit. Zaglav is not confident. He's a feminine little bitch. And I'd like to point out, he directly correlates to Jack Doherty, So it's funny because Tate has spoken against Jack Doherty numerous times, yet he praises someone like Clav. They're the exact same fucking people. They both do dumb shit for views. They both regularly get in trouble with the law because they regularly do illegal shit for views. They both make getting with girls their top priority. So Jack Doherty has collabed with many OnlyFans models over the years. In reality, the end result is always the same. They don't really want him. They're just using him for his content to boost their own popularity status. Clavicular is over here hooking up with random girls, or at least pretending to, talking to random girls and whatnot, and doing dumb shit with them for views. In the end, they only want him for his popularity, for his status, to boost their own popularity. Nobody wants these guys for who they actually are. They've both admitted, both Jack and Clavicular have both admitted that girls only talk to them because they want content. But the second those cameras turn off and it's just them and no one else around, the girls are completely uninterested. So yeah, they are fake faggots wearing a mask to make it seem as if they are someone who they are not. So yeah, fuck that. Any other subjects I was going to cover today? I think that's it. We're going to keep it short today. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is the Adonis Podcast.